G'day and welcome. All right, making money with your digital SLR camera or even an old film camera. Can you still do it? What can you do? And where do you start? Well, me, I'm just getting back into it, and I'm not what you would call a professional. Just to give you an idea of a tally of what I've made with this camera without really even trying. Okay, I bought this camera back in 2003, many moons ago, back when the dinosaurs were walking on the planet. Yeah, and I paid a lot for this camera. Bought it new. For about the first year, what I did was I went out and I took nature photography, birds and deer and, landscapes, whatever, that type of thing. And I worked in it manual and I figured out the ins and outs of it or whatever. And nowadays you can learn so much faster because there's so much stuff on the internet that'll just kind of jump you ahead of the curve very quickly. But you don't want to get there too quickly because you'll miss things. And one of the things that I found was that when I was walking around, and especially if you had like a big lens like that on there, people looked at you and stuff like that, and some people would even ask you for a card because they would assume that you were a professional photographer. Now everybody walks around with lenses like that because some people just have more money. So, but back in 2003, a lot of people were, they'd buy them as enthusiasts, but they'd never take them anywhere. Me, I carried it everywhere I went. I lived with this thing. Picky. Anyway, but the thing is that before I knew it, I had people ask me to do weddings, which I did a previous video. Should you start with weddings? Probably not a good place to start, but if you start with basically people that you know that are on a tight budget, basically I was the $100 wedding photographer, and I know what a lot of people that with more experience would be saying is like, well, you get what you pay for. Well, you do and you don't, because some of the stuff I've seen, some other wedding photography, stuff like that I've seen from other people, I'm like, I can do better with that with just this. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean I'm the best thing or anything like that. And I know other people could do even better with this than they could with that than I can do. They could probably have a little pocket camera and take the most stellar photos. And a lot of that just goes to the knowledge of light. Ooh, when it comes to photography, everything's about light. It's all about light, right? And capturing that light and, looking where the hot spots are and getting your depth of field right and stuff like that, and how to expose a picture properly. Once you know how to expose a picture properly, then it's about composure. In my opinion, I'm sure people will debate it and whatever. But one of the things that I noticed was, before I knew it, I had 2 weddings under my belt, 2 car shows under my belt, and 1 model, and then now I just recently done a 3rd wedding a couple of years ago. Not recently. Without even trying. Now, as little as today, I'm not trying to sell you something here, I'm just, you could probably make money, buy a camera today and make money with it the same day. How? How, you ask? Well, first off, I'm going to watch my cat going by because she's kind of sneaky and shady. I saw that. And animals are always interrupting my videos. Well, the first thing is stock photography. There's something I'm getting back into, and I've made just to give you a running total. So 3 weddings, $100 a wedding. So far this camera made me $300 on that. 2 car shows, about $40 a piece. 1 model, not to mention the food I got and the beer and the dancing with the bridesmaids. That was always fun. And then I got a case of beer and 10 or 15 or 20 bucks. Plus about $220 on about, at the time, because I just started uploading within this month of making of this video, I had about 275 photos, somewhere around that, for the past 10 years on Big Stock Photo. And basically, without doing anything other than taking the photo and uploading it, 220 bucks I've gotten off that. And these are photos they're good photos, but these aren't what you would call really relevant to photos as far as stock photography goes. So you start putting a little bit of effort into there, you could be making money. Right now I'm using Alamy, which I have, they're kind of picky, but I've got 3 photos up there. I just started literally this month, and they've rejected probably 90% of the photos I've saved. I probably sent them about 20 photos so far, and they've only taken 3. So they're going to be tough cookies, but that means you're probably more likely to sell something there. Big Stock Photo, I've probably put up, I think I'm over 300, so I probably put up about 60 photos this month. A lot of it was old stock photography that I just had that I was, okay, well, see if I can get this stuff up. And now I got to go out and get some new footage. But the problem is the weather's, it's early spring, so the weather's not the greatest. So what I got going there is I got 2 stock photography sites up, and I just got accepted for another one, Can Stock Photo, and I think Cree Stock Photo. So I got 4 stock photos. But the problem was my older camera, which is 6.1 megapixels, some of these stock agencies need 6.3 or bigger. Some of them will take 3 megapixels or whatever, but some of them it's got to be 6.3 or bigger. So this camera, although I'm signed up to the other stock, I can't upload from this camera because they just won't. The picture's too small. They won't take it, and I got it set on the 3rd largest setting. Because they won't take TIFFs and they won't take NFV RAW. So this thing doesn't meet the requirement. That's too bad. But on the other ones, it does. And you can start there. Now, it doesn't mean go out, quit your job, and do this. This is something you're going to build into over time. That's something you need to understand. You got to crawl before you can walk. You got to walk before you can run. So don't say, well, I'm just going to be a photographer and that's it, and I'm going to go out and do weddings and stuff. That's a lot of work to do it right. And to get the big bucks, if you want to get paid $1,500 to $3,000 a wedding, you've got to have some severely good equipment. So, and it's not just equipment, you got to know how to use it. Do you have to go out and take courses and stuff like that? No, but that does help you. Right now, I don't think people take courses anymore because you can find out almost anything you need to know on the internet. But however, you don't learn these things until somebody points it out to you. So what you will be pointed out to in an actual course, which I never took a course, but I just read up on it so much and did so much of it that, when you're interested in it, you'll pick it up. So that type of thing. So there is money to be made. And again, that's without advertising, I've made probably about $500 to $600 with this camera. This camera, okay, I've got, I don't know how many, probably close to $4,000 with all the lenses that have come and gone. Just in the, just the body alone was $2,250 back in 2003. Now, you buy the same camera today, you probably get it for less than $100, maybe a little over $100. Phenomenal camera to learn with. You could probably, again, still do weddings and stock photography and whatever. And again, with this camera, believe it or not, you can blow up a billboard-size photo with this thing. How grainy will it be? Probably not too bad in NFV RAW. This camera does take, it underexposes a bit, but it does take pretty good photos. So those are other things. The other things, and something I'm going to be looking into, is selling prints. Yes, selling prints. There was something Art America or whatever, Fine Art America, I think was it, but they're not accepting anybody anymore. So some of them, you'll have to hunt around, but, so you got stock photography, action photography, like basically reporters, whatever, I always check the time. You've got wedding photography, you've got modeling, fashion, whatever, if you're going to get into that. That I probably won't do, but you never know. I'll explore it all if I can, The other thing is you could do, hired for magazines. There's all kinds of stuff, and I got a whole bunch of videos on this channel just talking about some of the stuff to look into. And I have looked into all that stuff. Sending photos and stories, being photojournalists, that type of thing. These are all there. The other thing is portraits, doing portraits, those type of things. I haven't done those things yet, but those are jobs you can get. But the ones I have made money at without really trying is weddings. Weddings is almost a guarantee you'll be booked, but the question is how much and what is the expectation and what are your capabilities, what can you produce. So these are the type of things, but if you don't want to, you want to just kind of keep it as a hobby type of thing, prints and stock photography might be the way to go. And I would definitely look into those because they do make money. And again, without really trying or advertising or anything, $600 I've made with this camera. Now, if I were to actually put effort into it, which I'm now starting to put effort into it because I do have the time to do it, who knows how much this camera will make me. Hopefully, it'll make me enough to get another newer camera, that type of thing. So these are just some of the things you can do. Even some of these old film cameras, you can convert the film to digital. Mind you, it's an expensive way to go, but you can do that, and you can make money off of prints off an old film camera like that. So you can get into it for next to nothing. This camera I got for free, however, it's broken. It was working, but now it's broken. But when I fix it, which hopefully I'll be able to fix it fairly soon, I'll take some shots with this, and if I take really good shots, guess what? I'm going to see if I can sell the prints. That type of thing. Can you imagine that? A free camera, and you made money off of it? Wouldn't that be great? But it's more of just getting out there and doing it. So stock photography, check out, I use Alamy and Big Stock Photo, but there's hundreds of stock photo agencies out there. Try a few of them. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. So anyway, have yourselves a great day, eh?